Hello and welcome to What the F*** Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Thursday, July 28th, 2022. Welcome to day 555. Joe Biden hailed the Inflation Reduction Act as an historic agreement to fight inflation and called it the most significant legislation in history to tackle the climate crisis. Biden's remarks came a day after Joe Mnuchin blessed the package that would raise $739 billion over the next decade in new revenue, including $313 billion from a 15% corporate minimum tax and includes $369 billion for energy and climate change initiatives. It also allows Medicare to negotiate the cost of some prescription drugs, and it provides 3 years of Affordable Care Act subsidies, along with a few changes to the tax code. Climate and energy provisions in the legislation are sufficient to cut U.S. carbon dioxide emissions by 40% by 2030. Kyrsten Sinema, however, has not publicly backed the bill or commented and did not attend the caucus meeting. Senate Democrats want to get the bill passed before the chamber's August recess, which is scheduled to begin on August 6th. In order to do that, the bill will first need to comply with the Senate parliamentarians' strict budget rules, and then Democrats will need to have all 50 members of their party present and vote for the package, as well as the tie-breaking vote from Kamala Harris. All that in order for it to pass the Senate with a simple majority. Biden said, quote, "My plea is put politics aside, get it done. We should pass this," end quote. Meanwhile, the economy contracted for the second straight quarter, hitting a commonly accepted rule of thumb when it comes to a recession. The official arbiter of recessions in the United States, however, is the National Bureau of Economic Research, which usually doesn't make a recession determination until long after the fact. Gross domestic product fell at an annual rate of 0.9% from April to June, following a 1.6% annual drop from January to March. Most economists expect the economy to grow in the third quarter and in 2022 as a whole. Biden and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, meanwhile, rejected claims that the U.S. is in a recession, pointing to the strong labor market, a rebound in manufacturing, and other metrics as signs of the economic health. Biden said that it's no surprise that the economy is slowing down as the Federal Reserve acts to bring down inflation, end quote. He also pointed to strong job growth numbers, unemployment at near record lows, and business investments, saying, quote, "That doesn't sound like a recession to me," end quote. Yellen, meanwhile, noted that recessions are usually marked by substantial job losses, family budgets under strain, and a broad-based weakening of the economy, adding, quote, "That is not what we're seeing right now," end quote. Over in the House of Representatives, lawmakers passed a $280 billion bill aimed at making the United States more competitive in the semiconductor industry. The CHIPS and Science Act would subsidize domestic semiconductor manufacturing and expansion and would invest billions in science and technology innovation. Republican leaders urged their members to vote against the legislation after Chuck Schumer and Joe Manchin announced a deal on a separate climate, health, and tax bill. And finally, the January 6th committee interviewed Donald Trump's former Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, who reportedly discussed possibly invoking the 25th Amendment to remove Trump from office with then-Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. The committee will also interview Pompeo as soon as this week and is speaking with former acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney today. Mulvaney resigned a day after the January 6th riot. The committee is also negotiating terms for a potential interview with former Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.